Why'd I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates, so everything was all set for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except that when I popped out, they decided at the last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on a waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We've got an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said, "Of course." My biological mother found out later that my mother had never graduated from college and that my father had never graduated from high school. She refused to sign the final adoption papers. She only relented a few months later when my parents promised that I would go to college. This was the start in my life. And 17 years later, I did go to college. But I naively chose a college that was almost as expensive as Stanford. And all of my working class parents' savings were being spent on my college tuition. After 6 months, I couldn't see the value in it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. And here I was, spending all of the money my parents had saved their entire life. So I decided to drop out and trust that it would all work out okay. It was pretty scary at the time, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. The minute I dropped out, I could stop taking the required classes that didn't interest me and begin dropping in on the ones that looked far more interesting. It wasn't all romantic. I didn't have a dorm room, so I slept on the floor in friends' rooms. I returned Coke bottles for the 5-cent deposits to buy food with. And I would walk the 7 miles across town every Sunday night to get one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna temple. I loved it. And much of what I stumbled into by following my curiosity and intuition turned out to be priceless later on. Let me give you one example. Reed College at that time offered perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts. And since Windows just copied the Mac, it's likely that no personal computer would have them. If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever, because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, these things just fall away, as death is very likely the single best in what you truly want to become. Today,
okay, it's a long video, but you can see the successful leaders, they don't hide the past. And he has walked 8 kilometers to have a once-week meal. So you'll remember you all are better off than him, and he became a CEO of Apple. And he created and became a CEO. He left from the company and then can come back. So it is just a motivational video for you all. Don't worry about yourself and you can become. if you work hard towards your vision, your personal vision. Okay. So how he has studied, how he was born, and all these things. And he's talking in a convocation and as a motivational speech, and he's sharing his own life story. So they had the parent, then they reviews, and then he went into that and he dropped out of the school. But all these things created Apple today, and Apple is iPod today, iPhone today. Okay, so it's a story like that. There are a lot of videos about him. So if you want to become a leader or at least a manager, even it's better to read about his life story. There's a book available. It has nothing to do with this one, but he became international business leader. Okay. Today discussion, and I said I didn't teach you all the environment of international business, different in culture, ethics, corporate social responsibility, CSR, sustainability, and ESG. So it is a combination of but for you all is more than in business study. Okay. Now we see. I don't know whether you all know about Yahoo. So it was a company Google today. Internet, right? Free internet. Sorry, free email and messenger and or Yahoo Messenger. No, now it has been bought by other things. Anyway.
Yahoo rejected it, thinking they were worth more. Plot twist, they weren't. Facebook was rising, Google dominated search, mobile happened, and Yahoo missed it completely. They kept buying random companies instead of focusing on what users actually wanted. By 2017, Verizon bought Yahoo's core business for just $4.48 billion, from $125 billion to under $5 billion. The lesson? Being first doesn't guarantee staying on top. Success isn't about the perfect idea. It's about constantly evolving with your audience. Follow for more innovations history.
Okay. So you will learn you can become successful, but the past success is the enemy of the future. So remember that. I don't know whether you all are familiar with that or you heard about this. Yahoo was the #1 company or the best company to do internet and email and other things. But Google offered to them 3 billion, 1 billion, then 3 billion. There now you know Google is #1 or #2 in the world, right? So managing international companies or international business is not easy. There are ethics, and all other things. So okay, so this was our discussion plan earlier. So now we are going to discuss about national differences in culture, ethics, CSR. Anyway, just to bring back your memory, we discussed this, what is international business, exporting, importing, and intertrade. Okay, and we discussed about Rukman definition. So I'm not going to do, but just to bring back memory because you would have forgotten thought other lecturer, but now again I have been asked to do. Okay, what is globalization? We discussed. Okay, simple definition of that we discussed. Then we discussed about multinational companies, and they do business for 1/3 of the world trade. Okay, truly global companies and economic globalization. Okay, that when our focus was on economic, not political globalization. Okay, there may be a interest on political, but we didn't touch about because that is not our syllabus. The syllabus is on economic globalization. Okay, it's a business. Then we discussed about this world is shrinking, global village, think globally at local. Okay, so we discuss. Then what are international business function? We discuss. Okay, import, export, counter trade, global production, supply chain management, operation, global market analysis. We discuss. Okay, I'm not going fast, but I had to just bring it back to your memory. Okay, so we discussed about global marketing. Okay, so I brought it from a few pictures just to get international marketing is undertaken to marketing activities in more than one nation, that you all know. It is often called global marketing, designing marketing mix, but in the global audience. Okay. So what is business environment? We discussed little bit best, but not culture and other things. So that is our focus today. Okay, political, economical, technological, cultural, and competitive environment we discussed. Okay, so what is the environment? Okay. So then components of international business environment we discuss. Type of political economy we discuss are a part of that one. Okay, capitalism, socialism, communism, right? Or closed, open, and there is no 100% any other things. What is international business environment? First we discuss. Okay. And type of economic system we discuss, from pure planned economy to pure free market. So that is happening. Okay. If you take Sri Lanka, 1976 started from close to or planned economy or pure planned economy to toward free, but still we are not free. But we moved from 1976 from closed economy to this done. Okay. So legal system we discuss. Okay. And economic development we discuss. Okay. So today discussion. Okay. Any question about up to now what we are going through? Can you see the PowerPoint clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I don't. Please stop me in case, because I have received a letter from SLT saying that they are migrating from copper to fiber or something. I don't know whether they are doing it on their own or telling me, but they sent an email saying they are doing it, and I don't know when. So there may be a disturbance in the sometime. So if anything goes wrong, please talk to me. Then I can reconnect or whatever. Okay, I don't know if it's happened or not. I don't know. I'm expecting some issues. Okay, differences in culture, ethics, CSR mean corporate social responsibility, sustainability. Because you can be business like the Yahoo doing well, but they could sustain because of their leadership and the way they manage the company. Introduction: understand the national differences, identify the causes. Philosophical approach in ethics. What is governance and organization in IB? CSR in the benefit in IB. What why sustainability in IB? What is EIC? Challenges. Okay, and some case example based on the time available. What is culture? Culture refers to a setup pattern of human activity within a community or the social group, and the symbolic structure that gives significance to the such activity. It's a behavior. How do the people behave? Okay, then they have a value. Okay, the customs, laws, dress, architectural style, the building. Okay, if you take a Kargil's building 175 years, archaeological department not allowing Kargil to do modification because Sri Lanka want to maintain that historical building, right? So that the other side of the architecture building, same. Architecture department not allowing any huge modification. Okay, they can do some internally, some what do you call, if there's any problem with engineering or structural issues they can, but they can't modify completely the color and all. The red color they want to maintain, right? So like that is a culture. So you believe, okay, you would have learned it your management or HR. I don't know, if not, so please carefully follow. Culture reverses a setup pattern of the human activity. The how do you behave? Community or social group, within the group, okay? So you can identify. And the symbolic structure that gives significance to such activity. Customs, what you follow. So this is okay, this is what we are doing it. Then there are some laws. Then the way you behave, okay, during the holiday, during the what do you call, New Year or Christmas, then we have different dresses. Okay, so that shows our value and the behavior. Architectural style, okay, what is the style of the building? Okay, and when you say temple, church, right? Then that area, okay, they follow that. Okay, if there's a church or pansala, people follow that. Okay, that shows the community about that. So you know the culture. Okay, these are the symptom and the behavior. Based on the behavior, you can identify the needs and the wants of the customer. And how do you deal with them, you should understand. Okay, so the culture is important. The Sri Lankan culture probably different from Indian culture. But I told you all repeatedly, number found Sri Lankan culture and in India, Kerala is, there's a commonality, not equal. Okay, I use the word commonality. There are common factors you can observe in Kerala and Sri Lanka. Okay, so that's why they went endeavors to Kerala, not to the rest of the world, rest of the India. Okay, so they have found some commonality. It's the reality is there, right? And you can see, I don't know whether you are familiar, there are a lot of cross marriage from Sri Lanka and Kerala. Particularly, you would have seen it in actors level. Okay, there are a lot of things. Not only that, the business and all there. Okay, some culture do not exist anymore. Some cultures are now gone because of the development, and so then you have to see that. Okay, such as Aztec and Roman and all that cultures are now. Nowadays, some of the most popular culture is Chinese and Muslim. Okay, so because their the size and the population. Okay, now India is coming up with a 1.4 million, but you see multicultural there. You can see a unique culture. India, you get different complex culture. But that's why I told you, Damro, identify there's a commonality from Sri Lanka, commonality between Sri Lanka and Kerala, because Kerala size is bigger than Sri Lanka. Right? If you take Tamil Nadu 70 million, Kerala probably 60 or something, but I don't have exact data. But more than 2-3 times bigger than Sri Lanka. So they seen the opportunity, the culture, and so then because you see as a culture, most of the what do you call, Kerala people work abroad, right? They go abroad and work, so they send the money, but they buy jewelry and so like a Sri Lanka, right? Lot of jewelry they buy furniture, and so they found they spend money, so they went there first, and there's a commonality. So now you see a small video, a very short video about what is culture.
What is culture and why does it matter? Broadly construed, culture refers to a set of beliefs, practices, and symbols that are learned and shared. Together, these beliefs, practices, and symbols form an all-encompassing, integrated whole that binds people together and shapes their worldview and lifeways. To say that a group of people shares a culture does not necessarily mean all individuals think or act in identical ways. This is because one's beliefs and practices can vary within a culture depending on age, gender, social status, and other characteristics. But of course, members of a culture share many things in common. And while we are not born with a particular culture, we are born with the capacity to learn any culture. In fact, through the process of enculturation, we learn to become members of our group both directly, through instruction from our parents and peers, and indirectly by observing and imitating those around us. It must be noted that culture constantly changes in response to both internal and external factors. Some parts of culture change more quickly than others. For instance, in dominant American culture, technology changes rapidly while deep-seated values such as individualism, freedom, and self-determination change very little over time. Yet, inevitably, when one part of culture changes, so do other parts. This is because nearly all parts of a culture are integrated and interrelated. In the definition above, belief refers not just to what we believe to be right or wrong, true or false. Belief also refers to all the mental aspects of culture, including values, norms, philosophies, worldview, knowledge, and so forth. Practices, on the other hand, refers to behaviors and actions that may be motivated by belief or performed without reflection as part of everyday routines. Much like art and language, culture is also symbolic. A symbol is something that stands for something else, often without a natural connection. Individuals create, interpret, and share the meanings of symbols within their group or the larger society. For example, in the United States, everyone recognizes a red octagonal sign as signifying stop. In other cases, groups within American society interpret the same symbol in different ways. Consider, for instance, the Confederate flag. As is well known, some people see it as a symbol of pride in a Southern heritage, but many others see it as a symbol of the long legacy of slavery, segregation, and racial oppression. Thus, displaying the Confederate flag could have positive or, more often, negative connotations. Indeed, cultural symbols powerfully convey either shared or conflicting meanings across space and time. It is interesting to note that this definition of culture, that is, shared, learned beliefs, practices, and symbols, allows us to understand that people everywhere are thinkers and actors shaped by their social contexts. For sure, these contexts are incredibly diverse, comprising the human cultural diversity that drew many of us to become anthropologists in the first place. While culture is central to making us human, we are still biological beings with natural needs and urges that we share with other animals, such as hunger, thirst, sex, and elimination. Human culture uniquely channels these urges in particular ways, and cultural practices can then impact our biology, growth, and development. Indeed, humans are one of the most dynamic species on Earth. In fact, our ability to change both culturally and biologically has enabled us to persist for millions of years and to thrive in diverse environments. Now, why does culture matter, especially to the sociologists and anthropologists? Culture is important to the anthropologists and sociologists because it plays an important role in the production of social order. When we say social order, we mean the stability of society based on the collective agreement to rules and norms that allow us to cooperate, function as a society, and live together, ideally, in peace and harmony. In fact, for the French sociologist Émile Durkheim, both material and non-material aspects of culture are valuable in that they hold society together. The values, beliefs, morals, communication, and practices that we share in common provide us with a shared sense of purpose and a valuable collective identity. Durkheim revealed through his research that when people come together to participate in rituals, they reaffirm the culture they hold in common, and in doing so, strengthen the social ties that bind them together. Today, sociologists and anthropologists see this important social phenomenon happening not only in religious rituals and celebrations like weddings and the Indian festival of Holi, but also in secular ones, such as high school dances and widely attended televised sporting events, for example, the Super Bowl and March Madness. German social theorist and activist, Karl Marx, introduces the critical approach to culture in the social sciences. According to Marx, It is in the realm of non-material culture that a minority is able to maintain unjust power. He reasoned that subscribing to mainstream values, norms, and beliefs keep people invested in unequal social systems that do not work in their best interests, but rather benefit the powerful minority. Sociologists and anthropologists today societies buy into the belief that success comes from hard work and dedication, and that anyone can live a good life if they do these things, despite the reality that a job which pays a living wage is increasingly hard to come by. As we can see, both theorists were right about the role that culture plays in society, but neither was exclusively right. Culture can be a force for oppression and domination, but it can also be a force for creativity, resistance, and liberation. It is also a deeply important aspect of human social life and social organization. Without it, we would not have relationships or society. In addition to what has just been mentioned, community or nation. This makes culture a vital and important determining factor of how the community reacts, responds, and grows. Culture gives us a sense of belonging, especially when everyone speaks the same language. Culture also provides stability that, in turn, gives us a feeling of security and safety. For most people, culture provides them with the same emotional response as they have for their family. In fact, strangers have an instant connection when they learn that they are part of the same culture with them. Hence, our culture defines people's expectations from us. In the attempt to fulfill them, we shape our behavior and personality to suit our culture. Our religion, traditions, customs, all a part of our culture, play a major role in shaping our personalities. Indeed, the way we perceive a situation and react to it depends largely on what we have learned from the environment and the way we have been brought up.
So now it's a long bit, but anyway, it's important. I showed you all 10 countries. How do you deal with in one of the video? You can go back and check the recording. When you deal with Indian, when you deal with American and Japanese and Arabic, then with the UK, they always see the time. Okay, so that is an as differences. So like that here is a culture, right? So that's a part of the culture is that they behave, they expect from you. So how culture is important? Now you have seen that. National culture difference is international business referred to the variation between belief. So three words you have to understand. Okay, what you believe, what you value, and how do you behave. That impact how people conduct business. So that I showed you all a video, 10 countries. How do they deal with the people and how do they expect you to say exchanging cards, timing, ordering meals, right? So when you go to India, you don't order liquor sometimes unless they agree. Okay, so that's the general norms. Okay, and they don't sometimes don't take them to non-veg restaurant. Okay, because they are some the major community. So you should know who is he, what is the background, even what they are eating habit. You should know when you are dealing with the customer. So when you go to next level of the society to deliver goods, we discuss about product design and product readiness. So that time the culture play a role. Okay. So these differences seen aspect like attitude towards time, hierarchy, communication, social. So, okay, some places the family business.
another culture, ask yourself, what do I know about this person's culture? First, select which cultural dimensions to examine, and then assess their impact on the specific business you are engaged in. Suppose you are a U.S. employee of Amazon.com trying to negotiate a price for flip-flops with Brazil's Havaianas company. Someone from a highly collectivistic culture like Brazil's will likely focus on the relationship and prefer to stay with the same negotiator throughout the process in the future. Conversely, someone from a highly individualistic culture, like the United States, will be comfortable swapping negotiators or using whatever short-term factors seem appropriate. Knowing this helps you predict what the negotiation will be like so you can design the negotiation process to maximize value and minimize risk by, for example, designating a permanent negotiator. The second step is to respect differences. Respect is esteem for the worth of a culture. Respecting differences consists not only of identifying and assessing another culture's key dimensions, but of adapting your own views of the world to give them greater appreciation. In working with top foreign managers at Samsung in South Korea, we found they were very good at recognizing differences, but they often used this understanding as a way to stereotype their local Korean colleagues. By relying on only one or two dimensions, the Koreans are hierarchical and collectivistic, for example, the foreign managers oversimplified and made erroneous assumptions about Samsung, and that got them into a lot of trouble. A better approach was to find and appreciate the positive in the differences between themselves and their Korean colleagues. They needed to see that what Samsung did worked and drove profits, even though it was different from what they were used to. The final step, after finding common ground through recognition and respect, is to reconcile differences. Here you apply knowledge and cultural empathy in order to bring differences into agreement or harmony and pursue your common goal or objective. How? Solicit uncommon information. Rarely does any one person have all the pieces of the puzzle, and when people from multiple cultures work together, gathering all the needed information can be a challenge. One manager at Shell Oil commented, "We can get people to share knowledge across cultures all day long, but when it comes to actually implementing those ideas, they completely shut down." People from one culture might be reluctant to implement practices from another culture due to the not invented here syndrome. The not invented here syndrome occurs when a person or group resists new ideas from culturally different persons or groups inside the organization. To overcome this syndrome, we need to help the group develop a shared understanding of what needs to happen so everyone can focus on the results and not get bogged down on the way things are usually done. These three steps, recognizing differences, respecting differences, and reconciling differences, can help you improve your ability to manage diverse groups and teams and drive performance in your organization. Success comes not from suppressing differences, but from using those differences to gain new insights to solve problems.
Okay, so it's a short video, but you have given, if I talk only, I'll talk 1 minute, but they have given animation and recognize, respect, and reconcile. If you can't do as an international business manager or international marketing manager or a global marketing manager, then you can't. That's why I'm telling in a simple marketing, say, don't sell what you have, sell what the customer wants. So whether in the negotiation, whether you are going to customer, you have to see very carefully. Now you would have seen how this video done. That is why I bring videos, because I can talk 3 hours, but that might not bring, online, because I don't have writing facility here, right? So please make a note. India video only given 3 points. Recognize, respect, reconcile. If you fail to reconcile, okay, you can recognize, but if you can respect, if you can't reconcile your one with their one and counter match, then the problem. But like I said, the number, identify, respect and reconcile, there is a commonality, so it's better to go, and the risk is less. So hope now you have to understand the impact of culture on global business. So the other one is a little bit different video. Anyway, you have no option, you have to watch.
Sprzedajemy coraz więcej pralek w Indiach. Dowiedz się dlaczego.
W Indiach?
If you're going to do business internationally, you should be with a bank that knows about international business. HSBC Commercial Banking spans 64 countries and territories around the globe.
Look at this. With your machines, I make 10 times more lassi than I used to. Have it?
Your business success is out there.
The English believe it's a slur on your host's food if you don't clear your plate. Whereas the Chinese feel you're questioning their generosity if you do. At HSBC, we never underestimate the importance of local knowledge. Which is why we have local banks staffed by local people in over 80 countries across the globe.
Okay.
What? Sir, you should not place the hand that has been in your mouth back in the food. And you should not eat with your left hand. In India, we eat with the right hand. Left hand is considered to be unclean.
Unclean, yeah.
Why? Why? Okay.
Now you see the practical difficulties, and that person is eating, thought he has to finish it fast, and because of he's got into the trouble, and they are ordering 3 times. So you have to observe, satisfy, recognize, respect, and reconcile. So that man made a mistake, and he thought he had to finish it early. Then he finished it, and other people thought he needs more, and he liked to eat like that. So your behavior is very important. You observe how they are eating. It's an eating habit also. When you go to table, you have to be very careful. Okay. Why culture matters, we discussed. Okay, that video itself gave very clear. Encompasses of both national and organizational value, signal influence of business environment, shaping employees so that they are. Okay, so when we discuss it and no need to do. It's a collection of values. Okay, beliefs, behavior, norms, that means social norm, that govern how organization behave. So the same thing applicable to the organization. It's an American company, they have a different culture. Sorry. When they come to other country, they cannot dominate. Most of the multinational does it. But it creates trouble for them. Right? So we had a factory in Egypt. So they eat together in a table. They don't bother. So it's very difficult to maintain international customers or the buyers' expectation. So we have to educate them. Of course, they are their culture. They are what you call, we respect even their religion. Okay, they eat together, right? So then we have to educate them. And we made a table. Then we had a round table. They had to sit together because they sit in the floor and eat. So they had to make them understand, right? And 5 times they go for prayer. So suddenly they stop. They don't bother where they are standing when they are teaching or something. It was the government factor I'm talking, right? They don't bother because they give priority to the religion and they have to go for 5 times prayer. When the siren comes, they get up from the table. Oh, you are missing. They don't bother about. So you as a business owner, you should understand how to manage. You can't say, no, we are from this one, we are paying you salary, and so you will be getting a strike from the factory if you do that. So you as a international business manager, whether it's a manager production or whatever it, so I'm talking about a production case here. So you have to educate them. Okay, if it is prior, then we should plan our tea break and all other things based on that. Okay, so you have to understand, okay, 5 time prayer, what is the timing that? Okay, you have to make your timing based on the, keep a break that one. Okay, because they don't come back immediately. So they give tea or something that time itself to avoid other loss of time. Right? Hope you all understand what I'm talking. So like that, different countries are different. You see, they were talking about in the Brazil, the previous video. That's the reason I brought the videos. So I hope you all understand the purpose of the video, because I can't tell, I'm not writing or anything. I'm using only talking. So the talking might not be enough. That's why I bring video. So now you see that I have experienced this in our factory in Egypt, right? When we were going there, factory manager comes and says, it's a Sri Lankan, and he's not used to that. Then we discussed, studied. Okay, we made a round table. Okay, sit together and eat. Okay, no problem. Okay, they have a group. So there's an advantage for us to make a team. Please understand. So there are some commonality, some culture, because then they eat together and they commit together and they produce better. So you should understand how to manage them as HR or as a factory manager or whatever. So I'm talking about international business, but it is safe. So it's personally I experienced this, different countries I have gone, but here they don't bother what you are doing, what the time. They stop when the siren comes and they get up and go for prayer. Of course, that you have to respect. We recognize, we respect it, and we reconcile how to do, and we use that to improve our productivity, because they have already a team. You don't need to set up the team. Only you have to tell them how to do, what to do, and it created a better result for us. So that's the example. Influence the business performance, employee engagement, I told now, retention. If you make that you have to work and you can't get up and all, legally there's an issue will come, because it's a country of Muslim country, their prayer is allowed. Of course, Friday they make it as a leave, a holiday, but other days also 5 times they pray, right? Productivity and performance, innovation, adaptability. So you have to adapt, innovate the way. So I said round table, right? So they make them to sit together. Attracting the talent. So their talent is there, and you don't make a team, already they are on a team, because they may be 5, maybe they are coming in a one bus or one van. So then they become a team. So easy for you to make it. Of course, you have to manage it properly. They can become objective, and they can offset your, at least also if you don't manage the team positively. If they become negative, then you will have problems. So you have to manage it. So culture is a matter. So it's about this. So whether it's a local business, domestic or international business, culture play a pivotal role. And if you don't know how to manage and what type of culture, then what the value they believe, then assumption, behavior, results. Okay. So earlier video we discussed about recognize, respect, reconcile. Okay. I don't know whether you are learning it in account, where there you have management side, but here I'm talking about how practically you have to deal with the people. Okay. Okay. Company culture, definition type. Okay. The company culture is a collection of attitude, values, goals, and practices that characterize an organization and its members. Okay. Who are they, what they do, and how do they behave? You should know. Okay. If you are going for a company, you should know these are the things there. And it serves as an underlying framework. Okay. You know how they behave. That guide how employees work. Okay. If the CEO comes 10 o'clock every day, then the employees knows no one they have to look up unless you have put a proper system. Okay. That is why these all these issues and this thumb system, still the government department facing problem to use thumb and all, right? Attendance register. Earlier you write, right? So I know not now, I'm talking about 1990. The CEO is before we call. So if we go 8:29, you are allowed to sign. 30 allowed. 31, before 31, he put a red line. Because he comes 8:50. Okay, I can't tell the name of the person. So he is today one of the leading companies in Sri Lanka, right? He is not, that is not authoritative, but he show how I work and others has to follow. So that the culture. Okay, so the leadership and leader also has to behave, because if you come by 10 o'clock and expect employees to come 8:30, the problem. Unless otherwise it has created a system. If anyone come late, of course now it has become. Earlier I am telling about my experience. I used to sign as an executive. Okay, okay, employees sign in a different. So this observed by the senior managers are observed by the CEO. I'm talking about 1991, right? So now it has been created as a huge way, and even the face recognition and all, they are gone, right? So that now the new system has come. Okay, who is coming and what time coming, then okay, that okay. So this is a culture, the behavior, the belief. But the way you behave, others will follow. So as a business manager, you should observe, okay, but how this company behave, how this company deal with things, what are the deals they have done in the past, what is the failure they had, what is the success. Okay, how can I deal with this guy? So you have to learn this before you enter into a new business or in that one. Same thing in the employees, the society and audience or customer. Okay, there was a car introduced name with the called Nova. In that country, that word is called don't move. I don't know if you are learning the marketing. There was a brand name called Nova. Nova in that meaning of that particular language of the country is don't move. So will anyone buy the car? So this was they made a mistake because they were using in other countries. They introduced the same car with the same brand name, but it's a complete failure. I can't remember the country, but that country language, that particular Nova mean don't move. So will someone will buy that the name says don't move the car? So that's a complete failure of not understanding the culture and the belief of that country. The product has been launched, but complete failure. Of course, it was a success in other countries. So national differences is that. So hope you're understanding clean culture, custom focused culture, healthy culture, hierarchy, market driven culture. These are different. Some companies are always market focused, and some employee focused. So this is different. Okay, I don't want to talk about smart culture, but you should know about that. Okay, I have experience. I am telling in other place. He always give preference to the employee first because there are two type of customers. Richard Branson saying, if you satisfy internal customer, in turn they will satisfy external customer. So that the place I have worked in that 90 during that one, he always look after the employees first, and then he believed the employees will look after the customers very well. Okay, if you don't look after the employees well, then they will feel dissatisfied and they don't the morale low and they don't serve the customer well. Okay, that is the belief. So that's where to see what the company culture.
7 keys to building a strong corporate culture. Leaders in HR departments are constantly thinking about how they can develop a strong corporate culture. It is an important factor in employee engagement and productivity. Having happy employees who are consistently motivated and who share the company's values allows companies to deliver a wonderful customer experience that yields financial rewards. The culture of an organization is no longer a soft component. Human resource leaders must evaluate the impact of culture on a regular basis. When a company's values, ethics, expectations, and mission are in sync, it creates an overall personality. That personality rubs off on employees, and customers love to buy from and share the word about a company with a good personality. Here are 7 and in every facet of business. But before they pass it off on others, they must ensure that they have internalized it themselves. Number 3. A strong
In business, they ask for commission. Okay, so they don't say bribe; they say commission. If your work is for 1 million, they'll ask for 3%. That is as a norm. So you as a deal maker or a business manager or an industrial business manager, you should know the behavior and the customs of the country and the society. It is accepted. Commission is accepted. It's not a mistake. It's not a corruption. Of course, I don't know about the government department, but IRL, wherever they expect commission. Okay, so even say a taxi driver, whatever, it is a part of that. So you should know that. Okay, but it is different country to country. Okay, so it's a real world example how the culture.
Hello everyone, welcome to Business School 101. As you might know, monkeys love bananas. But did you know that we can make monkeys volunteer?
Are you comfortable to watch these videos or not? So you have to tell me now. Hello, please respond. There are so many students. So if you all feel uncomfortable, I will talk and I will skip. But I brought it because make it live and because it give animation. Video or skip the video?
Can what, sir? It's helpful.
Yeah, this is about how real world example. So you can see that.
Give up eating bananas with peer influence training? In 1966, the University of Wisconsin-Madison hatched an experiment involving 5 monkeys in one large that monkey and all the other monkeys with a stream of cold water as they climbed. The monkey on the ladder scrambled away without a banana, and the other monkeys were cold and wet. Nevertheless, the temptation of the banana soon took over, and another monkey attempted to climb the ladder. Once again, the researchers sprayed the adventurous monkey on the ladder as well as each of its cage mates. Afterward, when a third monkey attempted to ascend the ladder, the other monkeys pulled him off and beat him because they wanted to avoid the cold spray. Then, the researcher replaced one monkey in the cage with a new monkey. As would be expected of the newcomer, he naively began to climb the ladder upon noticing the bananas. Just like last time, the other monkeys pulled him off and beat him. Here's where the experiment got interesting. The researcher removed a second one of the original monkeys from the cage and replaced him with a new monkey. Once again, the new monkey went for the banana, and the other monkeys pulled him off and beat him, including the monkey who had never been sprayed. By the end of the experiment, none of the original monkeys were left, and yet, despite none of the new monkeys ever experiencing the cold, wet spray, they had all learned to never go for the bananas. This example shows how peers can influence and even change an individual's beliefs and behaviors. Indeed, the way the experiment worked is pretty close to how organizational culture influences employees. Numerous studies have shown that organizational culture can affect almost all aspects of a firm's operations, from punctuality and tone to contract terms and employee benefits. So, what is organizational culture? What are the benefits of a positive organizational culture? Where do organizational cultures come from? And how does a company build a high-performing organizational culture? In this video, I will answer all these questions for you. By definition, organizational culture is the shared values and norms of an organization's members. Values define what is considered important, and norms define appropriate employee attitudes and behaviors. Employees learn about an organization's culture through socialization, a process whereby employees internalize an organization's values and norms through immersion in its day-to-day operations. For example, Twitter's employees are always excited about their great company culture. From rooftop meetings to yoga classes to free meals and more, the employees just can't stop raving about it. Additionally, the employees love working with smart and friendly coworkers in a team-oriented environment. These aspects motivate Twitter employees to go above and beyond to meet the company's goals. Generally, a positive company culture has 6 major benefits. First, recruitment. Many HR professionals agree that a strong company culture is one of the best ways to attract potential employees. A positive culture gives an organization a competitive advantage because people want to work for companies with a good reputation from both previous and current employees. A company with a positive culture will attract the type of talent that is willing to make their next workplace a permanent home rather than just a stepping stone. Second, employee loyalty. Not only will a positive culture help recruitment efforts, but it will also help retain top talent. A positive culture fosters a sense of employee loyalty. Employees are much more likely to stay with their current employer when they feel like they are treated well and enjoy going to work every day. Third, job satisfaction. It's no surprise that job satisfaction is higher at companies with a positive corporate culture. Employers who invest in the well-being of their employees will be rewarded with happy, dedicated workers. Fourth, collaboration. Employees are much more likely to come together as a team at companies with a strong culture. A positive culture facilitates social interaction, teamwork, and open communication. This type of collaboration can lead to some amazing results. Fifth, work performance. Many studies show that strong company cultures have been linked to higher rates of productivity. This is because employees tend to be more motivated and dedicated to employers who invest in their well-being and happiness. Sixth, less stress. A positive company culture will help reduce workplace stress significantly. Companies with a strong corporate culture tend to see less stressed employees, which helps boost both employee health and work performance. It's clear that organizational culture can provide a lot of benefits. But where do these cultures come from? Normally, there are two major sources of culture in an organization: founders and industries. Let's discuss these separately. First, founders. When a company is founded, there is either a single individual or a group of individuals involved. The founder or founders have a vision for their new company, and that vision helps form the corporate culture. In some cases, the founder is very intentional about creating a particular culture. For example, they may want to create a business in which innovation or teamwork is valued. In other cases, the founder's personality unintentionally forms a culture. Some individual founders have such strong personalities and values that the company continues to reflect their goals as it grows and even after the founder dies. For example, Walt Disney modeled leadership, teamwork, and innovation so much that the Disney Corporation is still built around the values and beliefs of its founder. Another good example of the way that founders' values create corporate culture is Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Founders Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield started out to create a company with strong social values, and they succeeded. The company was established in 1978, and it continues to focus on sustainability, environmental activism, social activism, and charity even today. Second, industries. Different industries tend to have different organizational cultures. It's one thing to be creative, innovative, and fun in the technology and entertainment industries, but that type of culture won't work well in an industry that's built around regulations and policies that cannot be altered. For example, industries such as pharmaceuticals and nuclear power require attention to detail and therefore cannot tolerate a creative approach to following rules. While it's true that a pharmaceutical company can be people-oriented to a degree, its willingness to support the individual needs of employees must be secondary to its absolute compliance with regulations and the law. Now that we understand where organizational cultures come from, let's discuss how to build a high-performing organizational culture. Here are 6 tips for business practitioners. Number 1, emphasize employee wellness. No organization can expect to foster a positive culture without healthy employees. In many ways, employee wellness is a foundation for a positive corporate culture. Leaders should ensure that employees have the resources, tools, and on-site healthcare opportunities they need to live their healthiest life, both inside and outside of the office. Number 2, grow from your current culture. Building a positive corporate culture doesn't mean that employers should completely scrap everything their company currently stands for. Instead, employers should ask employees what they like and don't like about their current culture and work environment. Leaders should use these suggestions to help create a positive corporate culture that is appropriate for their workforce. Number 3, hire the right people. The people you hire directly impact your business and company culture, so make sure that you aren't just hiring based on skill or need. You must also consider how an individual will fit into the overall picture. For example, if your company many business researchers suggest that employees are much more likely to engage in positive behavior when they see. Number 6, listen more. For managers, an easy way to build a great company culture is to be a good listener. According to a recent business study, 86% of employees in a strong culture environment felt that senior management listened to them, while 70% of employees without a positive company culture reported the opposite. Therefore, listen to your employees and ensure that their voices are heard. Now, let's do a quick review of today's topic. Organizational culture is the shared values and norms of an organization's members. A positive company culture can help firms attract qualified candidates, encourage internal collaborations, improve employees' job satisfaction, loyalty, and work performance. Usually, founders and the industry are the two major sources of culture in an organization. To build a positive organizational culture, managers should put emphasis on employee wellness, growing from their current culture, hiring the right people, encouraging positivity, fostering workplace relationships, and listening to their employees more to ensure that their voices are heard. So, what do you think about organizational culture? Please leave your thoughts in a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
So this video would have given you, if you see who is the CEO or the founders, you can identify the company culture. Okay. So if you see who is the country president, you can see the country culture. Now you can see what happened in the US. Okay. So then, of course, I don't say there is a 100% representative, but that's how you can recognize, then respect, then reconcile. So if you are designing a product, how is your product ready to meet their requirement? Okay. So this sort of thing. Now this particular video, why, what, where, how. So that is something. So that is the reason I'm bringing these 3 to 4 videos. So I brought it now. So recognize, respect, and reconcile. If you fail to do that, your entry into the international market would be a disaster. Okay, that's the message. Okay, so it's some sort of picture, corporate culture, cross culture, right? So I'm not going to explain much anyway. That is, you can read it. Okay, language, religion, social norms and value, attitude, and business custom practices. We discussed, showed you not this previous lectures, and education and literacy. That is also important. Okay. Then if it is education, the reading habit and the readability is less, then you have to make a lot of pictures. That's why you can see in a Medicare box, you see both a picture plus write-up. If someone can't read it, by observing the picture, they can use the medicine, because that's a law. So you should know whether writing is enough or do you need to put pictures as well. That means pictures of the flow of how to use, how to open that particular medicine. I'm talking about, say, you have a inhaler, right? So how to open, how to use it, how long you have to use, all in put in pictures form, in addition to the letters. Okay. Some places are multi-language, right? In Sri Lankan purpose, I think most of the places 3 language available, right? If you take a biscuit, 3 language available, or minimum 2 languages a must, right? So like if a company comes to Sri Lanka, they should follow this, a foreign company. So when you go, if you take Maliban, they put Arabic as well, because they are exporting to Arabic. Now they may be printing mostly for India. I don't know the separate printing, packaging, I don't know. Packaging is a requirement, right? You have to go with the law, the culture, and the requirement. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to discuss this. Okay. Now we discuss about culture. Hope you all have understood. I have given some practical example. Of course, I have skipped few videos, but anyway, it's a requirement as per my this one. But you all are not much compatible with the videos, so I don't know. But still, I suggest you all to go back in your time and download some videos and discuss. Observe or watch. That give more, because when you see a picture and the animation, it goes to the mind. Okay, by reading the paper or text, the retention is very, very less. Okay, any question about culture and its impact on international business? I discussed. So 3 things you have to understand: recognize, respect, and reconcile. So that is the reason I said Dambro went into Kerala, no, in India, not rest of the India was, and now they are gone after realizing. So people are using, people would have seen that, they would have some advertisement and other things. I have not seen anything, right? India is known for advertising. Advertising is industry very high, expensive, right? So they would have done that. So through which now they are going to other part of the region as well. Okay. Any questions on impact of culture on international business? Please talk and respond. There are so many students. Yeah, 44 students. I thought of everybody online.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any question?
No, sir.
Hello, any question? No?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll now talk about ethics, social responsibility. That is CSR, of course, social responsibility, corporate social responsibility. There are company does CSR project and other thing. National difference in business ethics and social responsibility. Like I said, in some countries, accepting commission is a norm. So it's ethic. But in Sri Lanka or some other country, it is a illegal thing. Unless there is written in document. Okay. If you are making a deal officially for buying a house or selling a house or building, and it is written 3% commission, okay. But you as an employee making some deal and getting a personal commission, it's called as bribe and it is illegal. So that's why you are. But in some other countries, accepting commission is a norms. So if I do work for you, I have to pay commission. There is no salary. Okay, the agent. Okay, I am doing some help for you and you have to pay commission. There is no service at free of charge. That's the culture. So you should recognize that and you have to respect. And whether you have to pay or not, you have to decide. If you want to make things happen, you have to pay. But some multinational companies having their problem because they have a norm not bribing for business. So that's the purpose of discussion now. So then they can't. So ethics. So, but employees have to follow because there's the employee guidance is given. You have to follow this is situation, right? So, national differences in business ethics and social responsibility stem from varying cultural, political, economic context, leading to a diverse perception. It's a perception of what is right, acceptable, and expected from the business. So, it's a perception. Once it perceived, you can't change. Okay, there's a wording called perception is the reality. If someone decided this product is not good, very difficult to convince him to buy again. So perception is a reality in marketing. Same thing, here there's a perception, accepting commission is not a bribe. But some country accepting commission is a bribe and illegal. So you should understand what recognize, respect and reconcile. So you have to reconcile whether it's right for our company as an employee to do or not. Okay. But some companies, some countries, it is allowed. But you have a culture, you have a ethics, you have a social we don't pay commission. So then there's a problem. Shall approval, right? So you know that now Sri Lanka also the problems are going on, right? A lot of what do you call cases are going on. All these the 1% is right. Right? So accepting commission is right or wrong is a perception. But there's a law you have to follow. And in addition to that, multinational company, they have their own ethics and social responsibility. They say, we don't do this. So you should know. And so ABCD like that. So then in the local country, when you are entering, is IB called cost country. So there may be a conflict. So then you have to understand that recognize, then respect, because then you cannot deviate from the local law. Then you have to reconcile. Then you have to get a special approval from your head office or whatever you are interested business manager. Then you have to go ahead with that one. So this is a very, very for other multinational companies. Or even multinational maintain that when you come to Sri Lanka, when you come to other countries. Okay? So these are they call social responsibility. They call countries may prioritize short-term financial gain. Some other countries broader stakeholders welfare and long-term value. So some countries say, okay, we wanted this based on the government. You see, this and ask for it like that. That's what they are talking, right? Even Africa and other countries is happening, right? So that other countries also, it's not only Sri Lanka, it's not only the other countries also happening, right? So if you take now there are discussion going on in India. The previous government, not previous, I think we could see about Tamil Nadu government. They are talking about this. A lot of investment lost it last 5 years or something due to the government not following. Right or wrong, I don't know, right? So this the concept and the way they see this as ethics, someone sees that as a business, accepting commission as a then. So they were expecting commission, so the companies didn't come to that particular region, they went to other region. Now this is the talk of the TV. Do you manage this one? So there's a huge issue, right? Okay, companies say right? Same thing, when you have a factory, you can, the emission of the factory CMOC counted and you have to satisfy the requirement, right? When you, because you can say I'm a multinational, okay. But some multinational, already they have their own ethics. We will emit so much of carbon to the environment. So they are running, okay, they over a period of time. Some companies, they are going for own solar energy because they don't want to use solid fuel, right? So these all happening, but then the ethics. It involves applying a set of values, make decision in cross-border transactions when confronted with the completed cultural practice and all. Ethics accept a principle or right or wrong that governs the conduct of person. So that's the difference. So this is how we became, that become ethics. But some countries, it's not an ethics. Okay, so you have to understand. Business ethics, ethical strategy. Accept a principle or right or wrong governing the conduct of business of people. So that company say, okay, you have to come 8:30, 4:30 you have to go. Okay, we don't give car, so you have to travel on your own. Some companies say we provide vehicle, right? So ethical strategy of course of action that does not violate this accepted principle. So that strategy, there's ethics and ethics strategy. So these multinational have their own conduct. This is how our employees work, and you have to wear the dress. Sometimes they make as a dress code also. Okay. What is ethics? I prefer you all to this one. Nestle.
Ethics versus profits. The question is, can we balance both? To answer this, let's look at two companies on opposite ends of the scale, Nestle and Lush. Lush is a UK cosmetics company that's known for its ethical approach to business. From fair treatment of employees to reducing their impact on the environment, Lush believes in doing business responsibly and ethically. Now, on the other hand, we have Nestle, a multinational food and beverage company which has faced numerous ethical controversies, such as its poor treatment of suppliers, its environmental impact, and its aggressive marketing techniques. And it's safe to say that Nestle prioritises profits over ethics, most of the time at the expense of their key stakeholders. So, which approach is better in business? Let's dive in to how Lush and Nestle treat their employees, their suppliers, and their customers. First, let's look at suppliers. Lush sources all of its ingredients from ethical and sustainable sources. They pay a fair price to farmers, ensure labour standards are met, and never test on animals, even if these approaches cost Lush more money. This approach has differentiated Lush from its competitors and has established a strong brand reputation, leading to increased customer loyalty and repeat business. Nestlé, on the other hand, has faced criticism for how it treats its suppliers. For example, they've been accused of purchasing palm oil from suppliers who engage in unethical and environmentally damaging practices. Nestlé has also been accused of driving down prices with its suppliers, leading to decreased quality and human rights violations. In terms of customers, Lush is transparent with their customer base and has built trust with them through their ethical practices, leading to a positive brand image and increased customer loyalty. On the other hand, we have Nestlé's aggressive marketing approach. This has got them in trouble on numerous occasions, but none more famously than the baby formula scandal. Nestlé was accused of misleading mothers in developing countries into thinking that breast milk was inadequate for their children and that their formula was a much better option. Nestlé was accused of distributing free samples to hospitals in these developing countries and getting mothers dependent on formula to feed their children. Oftentimes, mothers couldn't continue to afford this formula, meaning that many children went malnourished and there were numerous infant deaths as a result. This scandal resulted in a negative reputation, decreased consumer trust, and headlines all over about how Nestlé had manipulated these mothers in developing countries. But how does Nestlé treat its employees? Apparently with low job security, poor benefits, and an anti-union stance, leading to low employee morale and high staff turnover. On the other hand, Lush pays a fair wage, has flexible working hours, and opportunities for growth and development. This leads to increased employee satisfaction and morale. So, that's their ethical profiles, but what about profits? Despite Lush prioritising ethics, they still made a pre-tax profit of £30 million last year. However, this pales in comparison to Nestlé, who made £15 billion in profit last year, despite all these unethical practices. Again, fueling the debate between ethics and profits. At the end of the day, it's a debate that will continue for a long time. It's down to you as a business owner to decide whether you prioritise ethics or vast profits.
So it would have been a different way they are discussing. So you prioritize profit or ethics. So that is two examples given. So you should understand now what is ethics.
For many years, corporations were only concerned about making money. That was the ultimate goal. Now, companies are also concerned about society's welfare. Corporate social responsibility is a business's concern for society's welfare. This means theory. This theory's central focus was the ultimate goal. Now, companies are also concerned about society's welfare. Corporate social responsibility is a business's concern for society's welfare. This means that marketing managers are interested in long-term corporate interests and also society's health. A new philosophical trend in social responsibility is called sustainability. It is the thought that if a company helps society through their business as a main goal, then they will reap success. Companies can look to solve society's problems by creating a product or service to fulfill a need, and they will profit and help the world. Other examples of products made by companies that embrace this philosophy would be makeup creams made from ingredients that are imported from developing companies to help their country's growth. Another example would be ice cream maker Ben & Jerry's, who pride themselves in supporting charities. Ben & Jerry's has been donating a full 7.5% of pre-tax profits to different charitable institutions. Sustainability's forward thinking revolves around creating new products that in the long run will create improvement over time in society's ills. A current example would be a backpack designed with solar panels to charge electronic devices or 100% biodegradable recycled cardboard coffins. Another way that companies can embrace social responsibility is through a different approach called stakeholder theory. This theory's central focus is that social responsibility is really giving attention to every stakeholder in the entire company, whether it be the employees, customers, owners, suppliers, management, or the community. The following is how each stakeholder would view social responsibility from their company. It is a more widespread approach and far-reaching. Employees want to have a good, secure job and excellent wages, while management wants happy workers and profits. Customers expect excellent customer service and high-quality products, while the community wants a corporation to pay their taxes, offer their citizens good wages, and help support the environment by not polluting. Suppliers want their business to remain plentiful, and owners, of course, want a financial return for an excellent profit. The most common reason against social responsibility is that critics feel the main purpose of a corporation is just to make a profit for their stakeholders. Nonprofits should be the only institutions concerned about society, not a for-profit business. Critics state that for most companies to participate in a socially responsible way, they need to spend more of their firm's money, and in the end are costing their shareholders a profit. For example, if a company is going to import ingredients from a developing nation instead of using a well-known source, then the added cost of...
Okay, I don't know whether you all have seen Cargill's CEO says, you can go back and check to the website. We are on the CSR, business of CSR. Okay, so CSR give a business, whether local or international. Okay, if you want to check it, please go to the Cargill's website and see, I think media or something under the subheading. He's giving a speech, and he's end of the speech he's saying, we are on the business of CSR. Okay, they do it, right? So that's why they are business. Okay, so you know that CSR important, and corporate social responsibility create business more and more.
Ethics versus...
Okay, give me 5 to 10 minutes. I'll have a tea and a little bit break, I need. So you'll have a tea. I'll come back 10:12. In other countries also, maybe Enron, the company, due to ethics and leadership ethics, went into trouble, and audit firm or other Anderson closed worldwide. Okay. So you all know that, you all have studied in accounting or costing, auditing, and all you all have learned that you would have seen that. Okay. So ethics, in key aspect of ethics international business. Guiding principles are global commerce, divergent cultural norm. So ethics provide a moral framework determine right and wrong. So that you go, this, if you do this wrong, if you do that right. So you decide and tell you the employee or even your suppliers. Okay, if you take Nestle, they use now AI to make decision on tenders. Okay, buying sugar in Sri Lanka, even they are using the AI. So there is no personal agenda or personal intelligence. Sorry, personal how do you say? Personal interest is avoided, right? So it is open at once. Okay, so you can enter your quotation or your tender this one to your sugar. Okay, 1 kilo, so 1,000 kilos or 1 ton of sugar. How do you say? Just example I'm talking. So it is managed by AI. Their supply chain tender procedure is managed by AI. So it's completely they are avoided. Okay, that previous video talking about AI, this one. Maybe they are profit oriented than ethics, but what they have made it, okay, these are the things should be there when you make your this one. Okay, it's the quality, the density, and all other things of the sugar they have to disclose. Based on that, AI will decide. Okay, or select at least 5 people from the 10 this one. So then even he suggests, okay, this person is because of this one. No personal interest is considered there. Okay, final decision can be made by the CEO or a procurement committee. Okay, so the guiding principle now in Nestle management procurement system is managed by AI. Okay, so that's the one advantage now international business happening. Global commerce applies to all aspects of international, influencing how companies operate and integrate with the partners and employees. So, like I told you now, that how a procurement system or the purchasing system managed by AI. Cultural norm, significant challenges navigating different. So that now, if when you are AI, so then people won't make a decision. So you have made it clearly now in the AI, your condition you have put. So based on the condition and the character, the AI will suggest these suppliers are good. for Sri Lanka, but India different, but maybe because of the norms and other things. So, aspect of the international business is very, very important. Common concern and the issues are there. Human rights, employment practices, environment protection, bribery and corruption. Now you know that I didn't mention the name. So now going on in Sri Lanka, right? Discrimination. Okay, so the purchase of airlines and other things are issue. Now that particular company is also exposed in the world. Whether right or wrong is a different. I don't know whether even is true or not. I don't know. But I'm just saying that one. Bribery and corruption is treated as an ethics issue and concern. Okay, discrimination, preventing unfair treatment. Okay, these are the things common concern include in a ethics come, and as a manager is a dilemma for you. How to manage, how to deal with it, right? As an international business manager, so you should know how to do that. Okay. The ethical dilemma. So now we are talking about ethical dilemma. It's a complex situation where a company must choose between conflicting moral principles, like I told you, right? What to do, how to do. Now you see that a lot of things are happening I can't talk about, but don't know what to do, right? So now that can create an attractive condition to Sri Lanka. So people may come and the investors might get some sort of reluctant to come to Sri Lanka. Also that is happening, right? Okay, ethical dilemma. So the dilemma arises from varying laws and culture. So that you know that Gordian knot and all. Ethical dilemmas are situations where which none of the available alternatives seems ethically acceptable. So sometimes you have no way of making decision because your company says this and country says this, what to do. So there is a big problem. So now you see a video, it would give you better idea about ethical dilemma, how to manage.
Hello everyone, welcome to Business School 101. Have you ever wondered how businesses navigate complex ethical dilemmas in management decisions? Whether it's balancing profit with social responsibility, handling conflicts of interest, or maintaining transparency, businesses face ethical challenges every day. But what exactly are these dilemmas? How do managers resolve them? Are there real-world examples, and what are the major benefits of addressing them effectively? In this video, I'll be discussing these questions with you. Section 1, Definition. Business ethics refers to the moral principles that guide decision-making and behavior in the business world. Ethical dilemmas occur when managers are faced with situations where they must choose between competing values or interests, often involving conflicts between profit, legality, fairness, and corporate responsibility. These decisions are crucial, as they impact not only the company's bottom line but also its reputation, employees, customers, and the broader community. Section 2, Common Ethical Dilemmas. Let's explore some of the most common ethical dilemmas managers face. Number 1. Conflict of interest. A conflict of interest arises when a manager's personal interests interfere with their professional responsibilities. For example, a manager may be tempted to award a contract to a company owned by a friend or family member, even though it may not be the best option for the business. This creates a situation where personal gain could compromise professional integrity. Number 2. Whistleblowing. Whistleblowing occurs when an employee exposes unethical or illegal activities within the organization. Managers often face the dilemma of whether to support whistleblowers or protect the company's interests. While whistleblowing can safeguard transparency and accountability, it can also lead to conflicts with management and potential harm to the company's reputation. Number 3. Fair treatment of employees. Ensuring fairness in hiring, promotion, and compensation is a common ethical issue. Managers must decide how to maintain equity while balancing organizational needs. For instance, a company may face pressure to cut costs, but laying off employees or reducing benefits could undermine the company's commitment to fairness and employee well-being. Number 4. Environmental responsibility. Many businesses face the ethical dilemma of balancing profitability with environmental sustainability. For example, a manufacturing company might need to decide between investing in cleaner, more expensive technologies or continuing with less sustainable but more cost-effective processes. The challenge lies in weighing short-term profits against long-term environmental impact and corporate social responsibility. Number 5. Product safety and transparency. Companies sometimes grapple with the dilemma of whether to disclose all risks associated with their products. For example, if a company discovers a potential safety issue, should they immediately recall the product, which might result in significant financial losses, or try to resolve the issue quietly? Decisions like these test the company's commitment to honesty and consumer protection. Section 3. Real-world examples. Let's look at how some well-known companies have navigated ethical dilemmas in business management. Example 1. Volkswagen's emissions scandal. In 2015, Volkswagen faced a major ethical crisis when it was discovered that the company had installed software in millions of cars to cheat emissions tests. The dilemma centered around the company's decision to prioritize profit and market share over honesty and environmental responsibility. Volkswagen eventually admitted to the misconduct, leading to legal penalties, financial losses, and severe reputational damage. Example 2. Facebook and data privacy. Facebook, now known as Meta, has faced several ethical challenges related to data privacy, with the most notable being the Cambridge Analytica scandal. The company was accused of allowing third-party access to user data without obtaining proper consent. The ethical dilemma centered on balancing the profitability of targeted advertising with the privacy rights of its users. This scandal ignited global discussions about data ethics and the need for stronger consumer protection. Example 3. Nike and labor practices. Nike has faced significant ethical dilemmas regarding its labor practices, particularly in the 1990s when reports surfaced about the poor working conditions in its overseas factories. Workers in countries like Indonesia and Vietnam were found to be paid extremely low wages and subjected to unsafe working environments. The ethical dilemma for Nike revolved around maintaining cost-efficient production while ensuring fair labor standards. Although the company initially faced criticism, it later introduced reforms, including stricter labor policies and greater transparency in its supply chain. Section 4. Strategies. When facing ethical dilemmas, managers can apply various strategies to make well-informed, ethical decisions. Number 1. Ethical decision-making models. One effective strategy is to apply ethical decision-making models like the utilitarian approach, choosing the option that benefits the greatest number of people, or the deontological approach, focusing on duties and principles rather than outcomes. These models help managers weigh the consequences of their decisions while staying true to their core values. Number 2. Transparent communication. Being open and transparent with stakeholders is critical when navigating an ethical dilemma. Whether addressing a conflict of interest, product issue, or data privacy concern, clear communication helps build trust. 3. Establish a code of ethics. Having a well-defined code of ethics can guide employees. Setting clear standards for acceptable behavior, companies can provide a framework for ethical decisions. Number 4. Involve stakeholders. Consulting with key stakeholders ensures that decisions reflect a balance of perspectives. Involving different viewpoints helps to ethical dilemmas. Number 5. Training and ethical culture. Prevent dilemmas from escalating. Regular training on ethical issues and fostering an environment where employees feel empowered to voice concerns can help preemptively address ethical challenges. Dilemmas in business management can lead to several benefits. Number 1. Trust and to build stronger trust with their customers, employees, and stakeholders. Employee morale and retention. Ethical management practices foster a positive work environment, increasing employee satisfaction and reducing turnover. Personal values. Number 3. Legal and financial stability. Avoiding unethical behavior can help companies potential bankruptcy caused by scandals or bad publicity. Number 4. Sustainable success. Businesses that to achieve long-term success. Ethical practices can lead to innovation, customer loyalty. Section 6. Summary. In conclusion, ethical fairness, and social responsibility are an unavoidable aspect of business, and Nike show how companies handle these challenges with different results. By using strategy, and stakeholder involvement, businesses can navigate these dilemmas effectively. All for today's topic. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave a comment below.
Okay, I'm not going to play this video.
Hello.
Ethical, when it comes to culture, recognize, respect. When you come to dilemma, if you watch the video, okay, there's a benefit. There's that the video was talking about how the CEO Sapini report on emission, right? Is one of the leading company in the world from Europe, right? So that and the Facebook. Okay? So that is the members. Okay. So these whether you are aware, you can put advertisement a particular area in now Facebook has identified. They are providing data. Okay, someone want to do advertisement. Fee less, right? When you're putting it. So that sort of facility available. Information on the Facebook information, they are categorizing and grouping and giving, okay, these areas, these do it. I think that is the issue they are talking. Okay. So how do you individual, personal value consciences and society, culture, religion, family, peer and groups, institutional, organization, culture, we discuss all, right? These okay, how individual behave and personal value and they think that shape. Religion is important, family and the peer groups. Okay, then institutional culture. So these are the things, three things. These factors interact the shape of individual ethical moral, motivation and character. So sensitivity and moral character. Your ethics. So from your family, your society, where do you come, how do you come, and how that your even national leaders behave. People now talk about if they can come, they can get out. Why can't I do it like this? So, okay, not like those days. Those days they don't talk about okay that he is the boss dog, he is the national leader. No, we can't talk. Now the generation is different. They are talking about if they, the ethics. Why only applicable not to them? I don't know whether you all have seen that. Now that's a discussion going on in the society. Okay, if they can do and get out, why list? Okay, my boss is doing it. Why can't I do it? Right? He versus moral. So that you should understand. Social ethics refers to the moral principle and value that guide collective decision and action within the community, focusing promoting and all this fairness, so justice. Okay, people say no, it's not fair enough. No, so this is why that is there is a norm created in the mindset, not a written document. Okay, but it becomes governance, then it's a problem. So then you have to follow it. Okay, no, it's I don't write. Okay, so we have a habit of when a ladies come give a seat in a bus, but now they don't say why should I? No? So that sort of questions are arising. So it's a confusion and development of this one. So what determine? So that sort of thing. Then governance and the morals, the governance came. Okay, ethics become governance and it has become law. So now we get ethics and the moral we are talking about. Society's ethics reverse the moral principle. That so what? Why should I do? If I do, what will I get? I'll get a respect. That the boy or respecting a girl, right? So it's a moral that you get motivated. But some people laugh at him also, no? So some boys get up, okay, they think in different, they interpret also different way. If a girl come with a back and if boy get up and give a seat, some people interpret the wrong way also, right? So there is a problem, but not those now that society open enough to talk. So these ethics are not. So that is why in the what you call CTP bus there, smoking is prohibited, but in the private bus it's not there. Okay. So it's, they are allowing you to do, I don't know. Okay. So that is they are making as a compulsory governance or rules. No one can smoke. I don't know. They are smoking or not. I don't know. That's the difference. But in the CTP buses, it's put. When you go to the hotels, they say, thank you for not smoking. It's another way of communicating. Okay. They don't put don't smoke. Thank you for not smoking. Okay. There are the area they put no smoking as well. Okay. But thank you for not smoking. So this is a way of communicating. So it's a way the country or the company make as an ethics. So CTP put smoking is prohibited. I don't know how they are putting cigarettes. I can't. So it is no smoking. Smoking is prohibited. But hotel do the same thing, but in a different way they communicate. Thank you for not smoking. But they don't only insist, but they are requesting you. So they are just telling you. So that is the way they promote ethics, how to behave in the society and that sort of thing. So hotels do that because they serve the customer. They can't say, don't come with the smoking light. But please, when you enter, can you please avoid smoking? Because we are air conditioned and it affects other person. So this is the how ethics become. But some places they put, okay, you cannot smoke. They put as well. It involves a systematic reflection of the social structure I talk about now, policies and behavior to ensure they align with the ethical standard that foster collective well-being rather than prioritizing purely on individual interests. So they are well-being as a commonality. Okay, if you don't smoke, it is better for everybody. Because of you, others can't get affected. So that you have to bring that well-being of others. So it has to create in your mindset. So once it created as a culture, as an ethic, then things will happen. Okay. So, but then someone should motivate also. Like I said, when a girl come with a bag and then a boy get up and say, people smile and leave it as, okay, what is this one? Who is he? Why did you do like that? But some people are moral. But if there is an acceptance for that he is doing it and there's a moral for motivation, then the moral will come. So ethics and moral is now you have to understand. Okay. Institutional ethics. Okay, that of course we have discussed. You can read it. Okay. Social responsibility, ways to improve ethical behavior so that individual standard and the value, managers and co-workers influence. Like I said, hotels say, thank you for not smoking. Okay, rather than say, don't smoke or don't come with the cigarette here. But thank you for not smoking. Then the people understand this is a place expecting not to smoke, but not a rule. So that is managers and co-workers can influence, right? Opportunity court. Okay, this is the behavior. Okay, we expect in the hotel. Compliance or requirement. Sometimes it can become compliance. Okay, ethical and unethical choices in business. So this is how ways to improve ethical behavior. Okay, I have put social responsibility. So you can read this box, this one. Okay, some other this one how these things are modified. I am not going to talk. You can read it. Okay. Okay. Now we discuss about this. Now there's a philosophical approach you can create ethics in the organization. Ethics is knowing the difference between what is right and wrong. You all know that. Okay. So, but the right for you may be wrong for others. Sometimes that you wrong for others, you sometimes right for others. So that you should understand. That is why recognize, respect, reconcile. So you are supposed to do that. You can't make a drastic decision. Okay, this is wrong. For you is a wrong, but for them is a right. Okay. So drinking not good for someone, but other places drinking part of the life because they can't live without it because the whole environment they can't live without a drinking. So it's become part of the culture. Even in front of the child, parent drink, right? But when the children also become, that is also become culture. That is why we said where it come from, parents and the founders, the culture comes, right? So here also philosophical approach to ethics. The broad philosophical approach to ethics is international business can be categorized as normative, descriptive, or applied. So normative, you can make it as a norm, you can describe it, you have to behave like that, or applied ethics. So 3 ways you can do that. This framework analyzes multinational, right? And their employees should behave, and okay, there is a guidance given. Okay, you have to wear this type of clothes. Okay, they say, okay, this one, and you have to come on time, and you can't bring visitors, right? Some means, of course, now allowed. Maybe if you go to government department earlier, they don't allow you to carry mobile inside. They ask you to leave with the security. Okay, now they allow it. Okay, it was earlier norms or descriptive. Okay, not a norm, this was a descriptive. Okay, you can't carry mobile inside the government department those days. Okay, inland revenue or wherever you go, you can't. Right? Now it's allowed. But earlier company didn't allow. Right? So now because of due to the COVID and all, it was allowed working from home. But there's a problem of data security and all. Right? So that the ethics and descriptive applied ethics. So one of these is one, and mostly the multinational companies, they create a descriptive approach to ethics to create. Okay. Normative means the branch focuses on establishing a moral standard that should be guide the behavior in international business. It explores right or wrong, good or bad, based on the various philosophical theories. Okay, theories are there. So I'm not going to discuss about theories. Okay, but anyway, you can company employment deontological ethics and all sort of things are there. They're all consequent based ethics. Okay, if you do, what will happen? Okay, that sort of theory. Okay, normative, arbitrarianism, virtuous ethics, justice ethics. Okay, so that you don't need to be much worry about that. But I have given, so I have said using that some other like this one. So I will. You can read it, but you won't be questions. Okay. Descriptive is important. This approach is empirically studies what people and organizations believe to be right or wrong in different cultural content, rather than prescribing how they should behave. It particularly relevant for understanding cross-cultural ethical and so like recognize, respect, reconcile. So that's the approach. Cultural relations, so you should understand. Research into ethical perception. Okay, how people perceive or perception. Okay, so example studies comparing ethical. So this is the philosophical descriptive approach. Apply this category normative ethical principle specific real world problem in issues and international. Human rights. Okay, you cannot. Okay, I don't know whether you all know aware. I think currently the children teachers cannot approach. Oh, I think there's a distance should keep with the children now, the school peoples. Okay, so that there is ethics as created by the government or medical. So like that, even employees, you can't use some words, even verbally you can abuse someone, it becomes harassment. Okay, so address the moral obligation, MNC uphold human rights in global. So that you so that treated as a abusing or maybe a harassment. So there are some words cannot be used by employees or the bosses to employees. So that is created as a norm. Okay, particularly in US, if you use you are a black, I think there is a consequent for the employee who have used that word. Okay, HR immediately take action against it. So that the law is very, very, human rights is very, very, what do you say, powerful in American employment. Or same thing, but so when they come to other countries, they may not be able to use because as a part of the culture, people talk that, but then they had to compromise something. Human right. Environmental responsibility, okay, like emission, okay. So factory emission or even your vehicle and whatever you do, environmentally you have to be friendly enough. Okay? Anti-corruption bribery, I told, in some country accepting commission is a norm, but other country is a, but when you have your internal, this one is a problem. So you have to be, that we discuss about the dilemma. So that comes into this, that one. And CSR. Examine ethical responsibility in companies that have the various stakeholders, including employees. How do we give something to the society? Okay, social responsibility. That's why I asked you all to go back to that one, and he's talking about, and end of the day, end of the speech, he's saying, we are on a CSR business, or we are in the business of CSR. By doing CSR, they are getting business. Okay, I will give I share one example. Maybe 5 years back, you know, pumpkin, right? So Vataka, right? Was very low and they are not buying it in Sri Lanka. So one of the person has asked Kargil, can you help these farmers? So what did that CEO did it? He asked all the farmers to pack in 20 kilos and I will buy it at a particular price. Then he gave to the customers at free of charge, and through which they got the farmers as to become suppliers, direct, and they remove intermediaries. So ethics created an opportunity. Is it clear? If not, I can explain. Did you understand what I'm talking about? Ethics and social responsibility created a business opportunity, and why Kargil say that we are on a business of CSR? Please talk to me back, and it's important to understand. So I can't go beyond that. Do you all know this story? What I discussed about pumpkin, I think over 200,000 kilos was on the road and they are not buying. And someone has asked, maybe some farmer's representative, maybe someone has asked him. I have read in the Facebook. And then he said, okay, he was not in Colombo, even he was in abroad. And he has said, okay, can you ask your farmers to pack in 20 kilos and give it to each food city? I will buy it and then I will make a mix. Okay, he bought at a reasonable price. And so that way, he removed the intermediary agent. Then he gave to the customers 1 kilo of pumpkin free of charge when they buy 1,000 rupees or something from them. So that way, that CSR business created a farmer sourcing vegetable to them. Is that clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is of the CSR. That is why Kargil says, we are on the business of CSR. And you go back to that website and Ranjit Page talking about, we are on the business of CSR. So what is one example of CSR? Kargil did that. Not now, maybe around 7 to 10 years back. I can't remember, but it was a real story, I know. Even I have worked for Kargil, not now, maybe 30 years back I worked for them, work with him to closely. So he has done that. Okay. So that way, you would have studied in operation management, removing non-value addition. Indirectly, he did it as a social responsibility company. By doing it, now they have got permanent suppliers of vegetable to Kargil. So now not a single intermediary can stop their selling to Kargil. That's why the Kargil price sometimes, I don't say cheaper, reliable than the normal market price. Okay. So that is one of the CSR created opportunities. So that is why the worldwide we'll be discussing about some CSR project in this one. CSR create business to companies and create opportunities as well. Approach ethics, and so that there's a grid 4 type. How I will discuss, and you can see that I am not going to discuss, but you can read it and understand. There is no need to explain much. And if you don't understand, you ignore it. I don't test you. Okay, so this is, I do for MBA, but this is your MBS, I don't expect you all to do. So I am skipping the slide, but if you want for knowledge purpose, you can. Okay. 4 types of ethical theory. It's the same thing. I am not going to explain. If you want, you can read it. I don't test it. Okay. But you should know as a ethics, but is it too much for at your level? Because your one is 1 year, they are only 2 years. So when you go to their more stuff we teach, but I don't expect you to answer this question. I don't test it. Okay, but you can understand, you can read and understand. Nothing else. So I am sharing the slide, but I don't test it. Okay. Okay. So now you should understand what is culture. The 3 things: ethical, social responsibility we have discussed. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about, if you have any question, please answer. Question me, then I can answer. What is culture? So 3 things you have to remember. What is recognize, respect, reconcile. So I used to give an example, Dambro. They reconcile or respect or recognize, I don't know. They did it very well and they went into Kerala. If you want to know about Kerala, you can go to website and ask comparison of Sri Lanka and Kerala culture and other commonality. You will get from the Google, not to AI, from the Google you can get it. So then as a knowledge, if you want to learn more, you can. I don't have time to do that, but I can only mention Sri Lanka and Kerala as a commonality. Okay. Then we come to ethical dilemma. Then we discuss about ethics over priorities. What is whether profit or ethics? Then there is a different views about Nestle. Someone is talking about Nestle prioritize something else. They told some example. Of course, in the international business is happening, right? Even the Anger had it earlier. We had a problem. Some other chocolate company had a problem. So this ethical issue comes. But sometimes people use, the competitors use that as to destroy the brand also. So you have to be very careful. Okay, there are lobby group destroy you. Okay, so I don't know whether I didn't see you also show you all. If you take example of Fair and Lovely change the name. Do you all know why they changed the name? Did I show you all a video? What is the reason Unilever changed the Fair and Lovely to Glow and Lovely? Anyone can say?
It's to sound more inclusive, sir. Because when you said fair and lovely, it specifies a certain skin tone itself. So to prevent that and such, they made us glow and lovely. So it is an emphasis on what color you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an ethical issue. And actually, the protest in America, Black Lives Matter. It's a huge protest came. And US will have 500 million turnover. So suddenly, they changed, they accepted, and they said, okay, it doesn't fair your skin, it only give glow and nourishes. So they change, but you see, there's as a multinational, not a single content of the product change. Carefully understand and listen carefully. They didn't change the single content of the product. Only change the packaging and the brand name from Fair and Lovely to Glow and Lovely. So they said, yes, we accept. Of course, our product doesn't fair your skin or only nourishes, because they said vitamin A, B, C, and within 7 days or something, that was the advertisement. It was a misunderstanding from marketing and manufacturing. So manufacturing and research did the product, marketing went and communicated, it fair your skin. So in America, Black Lives Matter, and I said law is very, very powerful in America, not like other countries. So Black Lives Matter, that was the protest. So they will lose US $500 million revenue. What did they do? Immediately they accepted. They accept. They change the name as Glow and Lovely and only the packing, not a single content of the product. So that's the beauty and capability of multinational with us or local. What our companies, Sri Lankan companies or some other local companies say, no, we are good, and why you are working that one? Okay, you know, one of the chocolate company went out of the market. I can't tell the name. It's a private company. Okay, some issues came, ethical issue came, and is destroyed by competitor, not by their actually, but that was a So when you are in the business, whether local or this one, you have to be very careful. Someone can destroy using these as the factors to tell your product is not ethics enough or not this one. So you have to understand. So Fair and Lovely is the one. Same thing, Johnson and Johnson. They had same time the issue. Both changed their name to suit the ethic issue, and because in America they said black lives matter. So you are telling is fairness, but we have been using for last so many years. Our skin is the same, right? That was a communication mistake from marketing and R&D or manufacturing. So marketing went and communicated as a Fair and Lovely, but it was not designed for that. It was only glow and nurses the skin, but not. So it was a mistake in communication or from R&D and manufacturing to the marketing. So that's the difference. Anyway, ultimately they realized quickly and change the product name without a single content of the product change. Remember that. That is the way they are capable enough to react instead of predicting. They are rejected reasonably and save the product and revenue of $500 million. That's the story of that. Okay. Now we talk about what is governance. Governance is the framework by which organizations are directed and controlled. You know that. Okay. Ethics and become governance. I told you all earlier. It identifies who can make decision. Okay. Like a sort of process. Okay. And who has authority to act on behalf of the organization and who is accountable. Okay. Accountability and authority. So there should be a balance. Okay. You would have studied in your management or management process and practices. You have a subject called. Okay. For how an organization people behave and perform. So it tell you how to perform, how to make decision. If you make this one, you have to face the consequence as well. If you deviate, okay. So that's the governance. That governance communicated to society and the customers at large. Then they make a trust and they believe you and they buy, repeat purchase, and then the brand created. Okay, so the governance create a lot of things. Okay, they come and buy. Okay, now you see, I don't know whether you all occurred. Toyota withdraw so many times their vehicle from the market. Sometimes million vehicles due to airbag. They didn't ignore it because the social responsibility company Toyota has withdrawn so many times due to some airbag mistake, and it was not working. They found particular model or particular year version not working. Immediately they withdrawn all the vehicle and then they did it free of charge and they gave it back. Okay. So this is social responsibility. So then you do that, you are sure this company went in trouble and they will keep you back. Right. So, but I have seen some things are happening in India, then the other people are talking about. Sometimes this social media use to destroy your brand as well. So you should know as a international business manager, this ethics issue can create what you call opportunity as well as damage your reputation. So even India, there was some, I have seen in my Facebook, I have been showing that some products are, they are saying I am 12,000 one Toyota vehicle, I am not getting replaced. Okay, so that is the message going on. But when someone talking about that, did you do this, no, then it is not a company responsibility. But when you go for that type of checking, then you may lose the trust. Okay, if anything goes wrong, no one there to help me. So why should I buy? Okay, that issues are there. So ethics and governance create protection and trust in you. Same thing, if someone use ethics in a negative way, can destroy your brand as well. So be careful and you should know that. What is governance in business? Corporate governance is a system of rules, the practices, uses the direct control. It's defining the roles and responsibilities board of directors, right? That's the problem that now shareholders file action against particular bank board of directors. They did play the role and responsibility as the board of directors in the bank. So now shareholders have filed action against them. I don't know who was the shareholders. They have filed action. It was huge billions of rupees lost on that one. So now same thing happened to other companies in the world. Okay. So defining the roles and responsibilities of the board of directors, management and shareholders. Okay, shareholders also. right? If it is a private company, shareholders are 100% responsible because for 5 shareholders, they can't get away. Only the CEO not responsible because they are shareholders. Okay, because that company decisions are made by shareholders also, right? And the shareholders are the directors also, right? To ensure operation efficiencies, transparent and best interest of all stakeholders. So the governance guide, protect, and tell you if this one, what is the consequence. Okay, so that all this one. The primary goal is to maximize long-term value. Like I said, if anything goes on, Toyota withdraw the vehicle from the market. Okay, promoting accountability, they are saying, okay, if anything goes wrong in my product, we will accept and we will replace you, right? Transparency and ensuring legal and entitled compliance, build trust and foster. Okay, so if I remember case when I was doing my MBA, I was told by lecturers, I think when Hyundai was creating the brand image, there was a car in Canadian user, it went into damage, and the company said, we will bring you a new car, you leave it to us. Not now, that time. So through that way, they created a brand. Even though it's a Korean brand, now they have created a brand image. Okay. So they said that time, okay, you leave it and wait. Our agent will come and replace a car for you. So such a way, they created a trust. Okay, anything goes wrong, we are there to help. So it's an ethic and the governance. Okay. But most of the places, companies don't do, and that creates trouble. Okay, particularly go to an individual, some individual code. That is why that how ethics and the culture come from founders, I said to. So that's all you have to see. When you go to some shop, okay, I will replace it. When you go to some shop, say no. But it is, when you become big, it creates trouble, unless otherwise, because you can't make 1% decision. So the governance play a pivotal role in managing international business. Key aspect of the governance, account the rules and practices and the process, stakeholder responsibility, accountability and transparency, board management oversight. Okay, that is why the case going on. Shareholders, shareholders appoint the director. When the directors not they do the responsibility, when they deviate and they are responsible, they have filed the case, the particular bank case. You all know what the bank are talking. Okay, legal compliance. There are legal compliance also there in the governance. Risk management. Okay, so now if your vehicle is that one, if you have a showroom down close by, someone can get damage. So you have to respond quickly, and the risk management. If you say no, we don't know, we'll wait and come, our engineer will come tomorrow, you leave it. No, right? If you take insurance company, even at the midnight, they are sending agent to evaluate your damage now. So that's a governance process. They are told the employees, even at midnight, you can't say, we'll come tomorrow, wait on the middle of the road. Right? I don't know whether you all have experience. I have got service like that. Even one day, 2 o'clock, they came to my car. Right? Immediately come by a person motorbike, and he said, okay, you can go now. Right? And you can take it to our one of the agent or our own service center. Right? Service center means that they do a required service, whether they repair something. So that the risk management is important. So these are the key aspects of corporate governance. Why corporate governance is better? Build trust, I have already told. Drive performance, okay? Because based on that, people will buy again. So they buy, they tell someone else, okay, I bought Toyota, good. I bought a BMW, good. Okay, I bought from this dealer, good, right? So that word comes. So it's a word of mouth spread over. Okay, negative also can. If you don't do it, negative, the word of mouth. Okay, one person is good, they will tell only 10 people. I think one person, if it is negative, they tell 10 people, I was told, right? I don't know you all know the marketing concept. If someone good, they don't tell much, but if it is negative, they tell 10 people. So you go that 10 times is multiplied. So you have to be very careful, preventing negative criticism in your this one. So that is very, very important. So when you build a trust, it drives the performance. Attract investment. Okay, it's a country or even a company. Okay. Ensure stability. Okay, then you know there's a sustainability and a sustainability. Because People are buying and you are sure that you can grow and all sort of things. So why governance matter, as I think short video.
Good corporate governance helps to ensure that a company is well managed, operates ethically, and is accountable to its shareholders and stakeholders. When companies are able to adapt to changing circumstances and build trust, the whole economy benefits. Over the past 25 years, the OECD has provided guidance to policymakers, companies, and investors on good corporate governance. Our latest update of the G20 OECD Principles of Corporate Governance is important for three main reasons. First, climate change requires companies to think long-term and to be transparent. The principles for the first time provide guidance on disclosure and boardroom oversight of risks and opportunities to support the green transition and help companies to adapt to climate and other sustainability-related risks. Second, companies with good governance benefit from investor and market confidence and trust, which can help companies to access capital markets and support long-term investment in our economies. Third, the principles provide a solid framework to protect investors. Shareholder rights are important not only for institutional investors, but also for ordinary households and pensioners whose savings are invested in our markets. In a rapidly changing environment, good corporate governance is really a blueprint for progress.
So you know why corporate governance matter? We discuss all. Video on corporate governance, and there are two videos. I am not going to run the play. CSR, so we discussed definition. I have already told and I explained what is Cargill did it. So what is CSR? Corporate self-regulation. It's a self-regulation like that they did it. Social responsibility is the business model which companies make concentrated effort to operate in a ways in real society, and so how do you involve it, and that one. So create a relationship and okay. So what is CSR video? And so I'm not going to play that video.
Hey everyone, I am Surbhi and welcome back to my channel Key Differences. In this video, I am going to talk about what is CSR, that is Corporate Social Responsibility. Also, you will get to know its need, characteristics and importance. So friends, without further ado, let's move on right into our video.
So we are discussing
what is
that
corporate?
one, so I am not going to do this one. Okay. So I said Cargill said we are on a business of CSR. Now you can see reason self-interest. So the leadership should have that sort of thing. Good environment for business. So that's second reason. Contribution to social problem. Okay. So I don't know whether you all have seen that they are using some sort of plastic or something to create tar, right? So that is environment practice, and they don't throw it. And when they set up a new food city, they are using that pavement, not the brick. They are using that tar created from something. I don't know, but I have seen in a daily FT saying, I don't know whether others are following it. Contributes to social problem because the and other things create environment issue, and it takes long time to dissolve, right? So public image. So it over a period, it creates a public image. That is why Cargill say we are on a business of CSR. Okay, social responsibility. More specifically, CSR is company voluntary. So voluntary. Now there's a rules and regulation expected from the government, but why you are doing the CSR to create a value, or you do contribute some excess money. Okay. It includes okay, that of course not you can read it. I am not going to explain. Okay. Business ethics versus corporate social responsibility. Compared some pictures, you can read it. I'm not going to explain, so it's simply that you can. So I'm not going to discuss this video. CSR pyramid. So that also not much. I don't test you all. If you want, you can read it. I already shared already. Okay. Okay, we discussed about CSR. Now we are talking about sustainability. Of course, little bit loading for you all because I am doing it in 3 hours. So, ask anyone define sustainability, you will probably get different answer. So there is no. What do you mean by sustainability? Someone can tell me. Yahoo, I put a video. I don't know whether you all can remember the early stage. They couldn't sustain. They were believing on their own success. Past success is the enemy of the future. I don't know whether you all heard about in the marketing. Past success is the enemy of the future. You can't depend on that. What happened to Nokia? They were stick to the old technology. So they couldn't sustain. Okay. They thought we are selling 1.5 million pieces every 55 seconds in China. They thought, why should we do innovation? But Steve Jobs thought in a different way, and he came out to the touch phone, iPhone, iPod, iPad today. And iPod, iPad, iPhone today. Right? So continuous innovation. So if you want to sustain, you have to be innovation. Okay. So environmental, social, and economic. So these things expect you to innovate. That's why we discuss in second lecture. I think, second lecture, company, I do separate lecture. But I did it together with the multinational corporation. Okay. The ability to maintain or support a process continues over a time, not over a period, but long time. That's a sustainable. Okay, I'm not going to read it, but example, UN Sustainable Development, they are. Okay. So I'm not going to put about the videos. Sustainable product definition. So that is I said recycling and reuse common. That is why now again we have plastic to glass bottle now coming back. I don't know whether realistic or not, I don't know, but damage and other things come. But still now they are going back to glass bottle, particularly children bottle and plastic. They are saying not to do and so on. So things are happening. So then you can't say no, I can't do plastic bottle I can't shift from plastic to the glass bottle. So then you will be wiped out of the market. So product and the definition. Okay. So that is sustainable product we have to come. Benefits of sustainability. So you can read it. I am not going to explain. Okay. You will be safeguard your brand. I told now. A purpose of driveness and provide competitive advantage. That good. Okay. There are 8 reasons. So it is easy to understand. Okay. ESG I am not going to. That is not. I didn't put even on this one. So anyway, I am for recording purpose. I am putting. I don't test you. Okay. So how CSR into ESG now? So that may be at MBA level, but your level may not be required time being. Okay, framework I don't going to do. These are the things. Yes. Here's some governance initiative done by Tesla, Intel. Okay, you can read it. I have already shared a PowerPoint. Hope you have read it. If not, read it again. That's for knowledge purpose. So Johnson & Johnson, what did they do in 25? Okay. And challenges of ESG, I am not going to discuss. But anyway, you want it. Future of ESG, that's going to be the future. But of course, I am not going to discuss or test you all. So don't need to worry about. What is ESG and why does it matter like CSR? Now ESG is the current. This one, environmental, social and governance reporting is there, right? So like Chartered Institute and what do you call this? Ceylon Chamber of Commerce do some sort of competition among big corporate, and they promote this environmental, social, governance reporting now in Sri Lanka, and other countries also same. So that is a new trend. Okay. Because sometimes you are sustaining for profit or something, there's a different way of argument. Anyway, now that is not required for you. I'm not going to discuss. Okay. So except ESG, environment, I have discussed all this. You have any question? You can ask me. I can discuss. Otherwise, I have This I finished my lectures. Any question? I was asked suddenly, that's why I couldn't mark your assignment. Probably by Wednesday, I'll release the marks to the coordinator. You can get it from them because I was suddenly asked to do lectures, so I had to prepare. Of course, I have to, but anyway, I do normally preparation for lectures. So that's why I couldn't do it with other commitment of other lectures, other institution. Okay. Any questions? You can ask me. I have 10 minutes more. You can ask. Are you all there or not? Hello?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, if everyone no question, then I can conclude the meeting. Because there is no need for me to wait till 3 hours. Because I don't give break because no half an hour break. No, I take only 5 to 10 minutes break. So there is no need me to wait till 11:30. If there are no question from all the audience or the students, then I can close the meeting. Can someone confirm?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, next week we'll discuss about. So you all have seen that I have uploaded the PowerPoint. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then okay. So you all have seen that, no? So now I have been given access. So I have uploaded last night only uploaded because I was told a little bit late. So that's why I couldn't upload. Otherwise, anyway, by tomorrow or Tuesday, I will upload the regional integration about this one. So that's the lecture. I don't know whether I have to do any more because professor should do. I don't know why they asked me to do. I don't know. So you have to talk to them. So I may do one more lectures, sometime two. So beyond that, professors will do. Okay. As such, no question, and I understand you all are 100% understood and happy that, and all the best. Bye. Because I told Asnik also bye, then we had to come back. Anyway, thank you for your patience and participation, and all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.